is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One was over there.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at OrvietosAwards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding. foregoing statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, welcome aboard. Yes, sir, we are live. A little late, a little half hour late, but that's kind of the way it is when they're wheeling you around. And that's kind of the difference now. I've got to get wheeled around by the wife. Although I got to tell you something. It's funny as hell. It really is, Sean, when you think about it, right? Because, most of you know, some of you don't. Maybe you're just tuning in. My foot, I had a issue with my foot a few weeks back. I had an Achilles issue, and I had a what's it called? A bone spur issue that was stabbing one of my toe tendons, one of the tendons that drives the toes. It was stabbing it from under. So I had to fix it, obviously. And I've been in a boot, and we're 2.5 weeks in. So we're nearing the halfway mark, we think, because it's 4 to 6. Maybe I get some good, some good reviews tomorrow. I mean, on Monday when they take off the stitches. But the funny part is that when I come here to Hialeah Park, you go to a casino. Obviously, I know a lot of the people that work here, and they say hi to me and all that, right? But the people that are gambling, they're not going to know who the hell I am, right? Like 90% of them. Some of them, they're regulars and they see us and they come by and they say hi and all that. But it's hilarious, right? Because my wife is pushing me on a little cart to come in and go out. And the faces when I'm going in and out are classic. Because I can tell somebody's looking at me going, man, that guy's addiction must be, sky high. This guy is coming here on a little bicycle, or a little knee scooter. He's got his wife, girlfriend, whoever that woman is, pushing him in because he's got to make a couple of gambles. He's got to bet here. He's got to go. They probably think that that my addiction is like at another level. This guy has to come here. I mean, should he be home resting? Those are the faces I get.
Well, they're probably like, well, at least we're not that bad.
Right.
You're making everybody feel better.
Exactly. That's what I'm making people feel better. Yeah. Yeah. If there's a guy who was here 2 or 3 times a week, he looks at me and goes, well, that guy's got real problems. Not me. I'm here for fun. That guy, look at him. He's broken down and he's having people drag him in here to lose some money. Although they do have the loosest slots here, so you might win some money here. That's the good thing about it. They're always going off, the slot machines. You're always hearing them go off. Anyway, Matt Araiza signs with the Chiefs. Really? He did? All right, that's good. That's good stuff. Good for him. He was wrongly accused, and he cleared his name. Brooklyn Rob is first in, it says. Good afternoon, Big O and Sean. Look forward to the Panthers' victory tonight. Time to hunt. Panthers tonight in action against Carolina. But last night, Inter got it done against Salt Lake. That was actually cool. That was good to watch. It was good to have a little soccer in there. Messi dribbling over the injured player was just absolutely. It reminded me of Saban walking over the guy having a seizure in the hallway. Angelo De Jesus, good day, Owen Sean from sunny Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hear me out, oh. You're not a financial advisor, just an unpaid one. I'm kidding, but thanks for all the great advice and money you've made us all. You're all welcome. You are all welcome. And donations, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Louis Beltran is in the house. Louis M says, show is super late today. Always a rookie, right? There's always a rookie that just doesn't get the Thursday thing. But there's Louis M on it. Armando Justo. corrected him. Steven Gonzalez, Ray Sosa. He says, what a win by Inter. Football is back. J-Town in, Brian Walters, Lisa Rose, One-Eyed Jack, Brian Landis. We're hanging in there, Brian. Thank you, my brother. We get the stitches off on Monday, so maybe I'll get a little progress, and you'll tell me. I can already tell my foot is better because I was telling my wife this. I can put my foot down and like I don't feel any sensitivity whatsoever. So I almost feel like I can put a little weight on it if I wanted to. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way it feels. So it's getting better. It's getting better. The beauty of it for me has been that the foot hasn't been an issue, really. It's been all the other stuff that has lingered from the foot, whether it's the knee. I had the thigh and the hip for a little bit, but the knee's gone for now. So we shall see. We're going to have to correct that meniscus issue now that I have there too. So Omar Lopez, Stetson O, Gus 1388, C's, Rob Cow, Alexis Palenzuela, DF is in. NVIDIA saved the day. Luis Benito, yeah, NVIDIA helped out, especially for AI. And those of you that are with me on Alethea, it continues, right? Alethea continues to run right now. Where is it at? And by the way, Star Atlas, which is another long shot that I told you guys about, is now starting to ride. It's up 21%. So it's doing good. It was nice to see Star Atlas wake up a little bit there. Let's see if it continues to ride. Alethea is up 10.5%. Still stuck in the 5-cent area. See if it starts getting to 6 or 7. Remember, the high is 9. So it's going to surpass that. I have no concerns or worries about that. Jasmy, by the way, is just up by 3%. It's right a little over a penny and a half. So I'm trying to make its way to 2 pennies. The big mover today, Polygon, up 13% to $1.04. And H-bar, I'm a big H-bar guy, 15% up. It's up to 11.5 pennies. That's some of the big movers. Gala is up 11.5. I'm a Gala guy. So market's doing all right, actually. Market bounced back a little bit today. Bitcoin strong. It's held between 51 and 52, which for those of you that don't realize that, that's incredibly bullish. For the run it's made, and then now it's holding that floor, that is as strong as it gets. So thank you for the comments on the shirt. Yes, Allison Chains. What else do we have? Pendle is up almost 13%. It's another one. So we're doing all right. We're doing all right. The market, by the way, is up 461 points. The Dow, the S&P is up 108. And the NASDAQ is up 0.5 point. So market's doing well. Crypto's doing well. Some of our long shots are doing incredibly well. So hopefully you guys are on it and making some money like the rest of us. Let's see. I don't agree with signing Wilkins long-term. I would trade him for multiple picks, maybe a first and a third. Problem, and somebody has to sign him and give up picks. That's going to be really hard to find. He's not that good, actually, to be quite honest, to trade for a first and a third and give him a frontline contract. Not worth it. Not worth it, man. Not worth it. But we're going to get into a couple of those subjects now with Wilkins and another one that I found just absolutely stupid. But we'll talk about it because, again, but we're going to talk about it in the sense of pretty much making fun of people more than anything else. Let's see. Captain Saki is in Tarpon Springs. Dude 67. Big O out here making people feel good. Well, I hope so. If you got a little bit of crypto going, you feeling really good with us. La leyenda de la Sabuesera, says Luis. Thank you, sir. That's very nice of you. Ryan R.A.P. Let's see. Anthony says, Big O, how did surgery go? I bet you can still kick with that injured surgically repaired foot. Better than Sanders. He did finish strong. Alexis is asking about Tim Anderson for the Marlins. Brett Dodger is in. Pat in Asheville. Oh, also is wearing one of those gambling diapers. Yep, exactly. That way I don't have to get up and go anywhere. Cigar Social. Un abrazo. Thank you, my brother. Jermaine is in. I don't know if any Marlin news is big news, but we'll get to that too. Let's see. Dirt in a jar and dirt in a jar of flies is definitely a great one, my brother. Jay Gelfin. Inter-Miami game was fun to watch. Alex was right. The defense was better. Yeah. The defense, except for Kristoff, that guy is old and slow as a mofo. Like, he has to literally tackle you in the back line in order to, like, do his job. He's a liability in a big-time way. He is too old and too slow. Maybe when they get back some of the other guys, they'll change that up a little bit. But
That's what Alex was talking about, right? About
yeah,
Kristoff wasn't supposed to be there, but with the injuries, he's probably going to be.
Yeah.
Because it looked bad it's weird, though, because last year he didn't look that. I mean, just that 1 year just has changed everything.
Yeah. You get old, bro. You get old. You got mileage on you. You know, I did win yesterday. I took Roger Taylor and Robert Taylor. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Queen. Robert Taylor, and I took Suarez anytime goals. But the Taylor one, the odds were like so good that it covered both bets. So I ended up even making money anyway. So I got Robert anytime goal, and then Suarez didn't come through. Almost. There was one moment where Suarez had a shot, and I was like, dude, am I going to hit both of these? Because I didn't want to bet minus a goal and a half, because it was like minus 170 or something, 180, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm not doing that. That's not. I'd rather go the other way. Remember, it's all about value, right? That's what we always talk about, right? Whether we're investing or whether we're investing in sports. Doesn't matter what it is. You have to search for the value of it, where you want to buy it, at what price point, that kind of stuff. And then when it's not at the price point, don't take it. And then sometimes that's why I always tell you, hey, go with a live line. But in soccer, it's a little bit harder than it would be in basketball. So, yeah, good stuff there. Looks like you lost a lot of – yeah, I've probably lost somewhere in the 20 range now, right? Because it was 14 a few weeks ago, right? So I probably have lost something like 20 pounds now, something like that. I'm in the process of it. I fast every day. I only eat in a window of like 3 to 6 p.m., right? Something like that, babe, right? Like 3 to 6 p.m. or something like that. That's so I only have a couple of meals during those hours, and then that's it. I'm done for the day and night and morning and everything and all that good stuff. So I kind of keep it really tight window, and then I'm eating all right too. I'm trying to eat as decent as possible, you know? So, but thank you for noticing. Yeah, you can kind of tell in my face, right? Because that's where when I gain weight, obviously it's in the stomach and in the face. I get affected in the face big time, dude. My face, carapapa, you know? That's what happens to me. But, yeah. What'd you think of Luis Suarez debut? I thought he actually played pretty well, you know? I like what I saw yesterday. I mean, for their first game, I thought the chemistry was pretty good. The passing was better than I expected. I got to tell you, I was wrong about that. I was a little afraid of chemistry being, a little off, but Alex was right. They had enough time with the practices and the travel and the preseason games that the chemistry was pretty good.
First half, I thought it was a tale of two halves, because the second half,
okay, that's
Real
fair.
Salt Lake started like
they played better.
Yeah, they played a lot better, and
your trailer
Inter-Miami played worse. I mean, as far as like they looked slower. The Real Salt Lake, when they started attacking, it showed Inter-Miami's veteran experience, if you want to call that.
Right.
Because they got away. There was a couple times where they gave the ball away, and that score could have been a little bit different. And Drake Counter made some good saves too as well.
Oh, Drake. he had one save that was just the one at the top.
Yep, at the top. Yep.
In the middle of the crossbar right there.
Yeah,
that was.
But there was times where, again.
But Drake Callender has to be Drake Callender. That's just kind of what it is.
Yeah,
it's going to happen in every game.
Was it Taylor Twellman?
Twellman
was saying, he's like, look, coming out of the preseason, you're always going to have, dead legs anyways.
Right.
Much less traveling 23,000 miles in said preseason as well. And, he was like, he was talking about how he was amazed that, a lot of those guys were going the 90 minutes. Like, he's like, he thought he was going to see Campana earlier, and they didn't come until like the 80th minute.
80th minute, like,
and
yeah.
You saw, who was it? It was Suarez, right?
Suarez
he
came
was
out
starting
for
limping.
Campana.
He was limping coming out.
Yeah.
And it's just, was it too much? You know what I'm saying? Again.
Well, and they didn't attack nearly as much in the second half.
No, they
than
laid
did
back
in
a
the first
little
half,
bit,
right?
but it showed too that
once they took the lead, it was like.
Yeah, but I feel like it's that old boxer, like when he stops throwing punches, then he starts just getting beaten up, and like,
right.
How long can he hold on? Can he make it last? And it a couple times where I was like, oh no.
It's almost like they felt they can handle them, so they were like, all right, let's coast a little bit, and they Lupe fiascoed it. They kicked, push, and coast, and that's what happened. So there you go. Let's see. Good afternoon, Big O. Chris from Phoenix, Arizona. Extension for our young wide receiver. Yeah, Waddle will get one. You know what? Let me talk about that one subject first of all, because I gotta say, our local media, you guys are desperate as hell, dude. Because Mike Tannenbaum, and got nothing against Barry, nothing but love for Barry. But Barry was like praising Mike Tannenbaum on the air at ESPN. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe Barry needs him to ask him for information for his articles and whatever. Hey, former Dolphin and Jet GM, Mike Tannenbaum says this. And so he can call him, because you can't rip him and then go call him, right? I'm a little different. I don't really give a fuck. Okay. I'm going to rip you if you deserve to get ripped. And it is what it is. Mike Tannenbaum is terrible on air. He comes up constantly with stupid shit, including trading Waddle. Okay. It was for what cornerback was it? For what player or for whatever? It's just, it's hard. And then the local media goes off on it. It was for Bird, for Jarius. Oh, for Jarius Sneed. Okay. All right. So, and it's just, and then it just gets into stupid talk, right? And then you got Beasley talking about, well, you can't, you could trade Tyreek, but then you would, sabotage the season. And I'm like, okay, why are we talking about stupid shit? Why are you people writing about stupid shit? Why are you people even going off of what Mike Tannenbaum said, which is stupid shit? That makes no sense. Nobody's trading Waddle. Nobody's trading Tyreek. This is the offseason, dude. This is exactly what I've been telling you about and why I don't entertain bullshit like this. But you know what I will do? I will expose bullshit like this and expose everybody else that wants to take a ride on this kind of bullshit. I get it. It's slow. You got to fill some time. Writers. Fine, dude. Whatever. And I get it. We have stupid enough people that will actually entertain these conversations. I mean, we have parents that are not giving their kids measles vaccination. So we got stupid mofos all over this country. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you're keeping your kid away from the measles vaccine, you're an effing moron. So we know that catastrophically, we've got a lot of stupid people in this country. Okay? A lot of stupid people. So the media feeds stupid people. So if you want to go for stupid things like trading Waddle, Or then trying to even entertain a conversation because let's get clicks and let's get out there and let's talk about trading Tyreek. You know, it's just amazing to me the level of crap that the media throws out there. Whatever happened to just trying to have some constructive conversation, stuff that actually makes sense? Not that they're trading for Dalvin Cook. This is the same thing I have to do every offseason now. Every offseason, what I have to do now is bring everybody to reality because since they've just got to fill time, you know what I mean? I don't need to do that. We don't do that here on this platform. We don't just fill time. So let's just talk about bullshit crap that never is going to happen. Hypotheticals that are not even close to. And by the way, here's another one. Kansas City's got all kinds of cap issues. They're going to take on Waddle and give him a new contract when that's not what they need. They can draft a receiver. The draft is loaded with receivers. The Jarius Birds, those dudes are really rare. Like really rare. That's another reason why it's a stupid trade. What was that? Whatever, bro. I don't give a shit if it's Jarius Bird or McDuffie or whatever. Doesn't make any sense. One of the reasons why they won the title is because of those corners. You don't let go of those corners. Plus, they're in their rookie deals. Waddle is a year away from giving him a fat-ass deal. I mean, it's the buffoonery that goes on in the media. I get it. It's slow and there's nothing going on and you got to invent shit. And you know, I was saying how terrible Mike Tannenbaum is, but somebody on Twitter corrected me. He goes, "You're wrong, oh. Tannenbaum is perfect for television because that's exactly what they and you know what? He's right.
Look what's going on right now.
Right, exactly. Right. He is perfect for television because that's all they spew is crap. And they lie to you. Look at the EU now. Did you see that? The EU came out like, oh no, Bitcoin's terrible. The European Central Bank, the ECU, came, oh no, Bitcoin's terrible, this, that. They like trashed it completely. Why? Because they know that their fiat currency is dying. And so they'll lie to people. This is what they do to you. It's like they just flat out lie, just mislead you, come up with crap that makes no sense. Trading Waddle. Like they're going to trade Waddle. They're not going to trade Waddle. And they're not going to trade Tyreek either. But it's great clickbait stuff. It gets you guys talking about it. And you know what? I guess it'll get me talking about it just like last year. Just like last year when I told you, oh, the Dalvin Cook stuff, that's all lies. All those people reporting that he's going to get traded for or they're dying to give him a contract, they're all lying. Oh, no, they're going to go after Jonathan. No, they're not, dude. Now, Jonathan Taylor wants to come here for, you know, low-hanging fruit. And maybe they'll do that. They'll do low-hanging fruit. So if this is what we have to do, then I guess this is my new job every offseason now. Kind of tell you, hey, by the way, this story is bullshit. And that story is horse crap. And that story doesn't fly. And all that stuff yesterday, that's just desperation from the media because they got nothing else to say. So let's come up with fake content so we could come up with some kind of content. I mean, just absolute silliness, dude. Really. Oh, all right. I hope you could keep the weight off. That's it. Yeah, that's where I fail every time, Brett. Every time. That's where I fail. I never keep it off because I have no discipline. I'm an idiot. Anyway, let's see. Giovanni in. Luis Benito. I just printed Messi schedule. Can't miss any more games. There you go. Big O, it's almost bathing suit season. LOL. I'll be ready for my Speedo in a couple months. Jermaine. No one said Christian Wilkins is worth multiple first-round picks, but he's worth at least a first. Maybe just a first. That could be. Multiple picks, I doubt it. And I still think they won't trade a first and give him a big contract. I believe no one will do that. How do you like them apples? I believe no one in the NFL will give you a first-round pick for Christian Wilkins and give him a big contract. How do you like them apples? Yeah. Maybe a second or a third. You won't get a first. No freaking way you'll get a first for Christian Wilkins when you have to give him a big contract. Nope. Let's see. The chemistry was on point last night, and Suarez should have had the goal, but he gave the assist to Gomez. Yeah, he did. That was a nice pass last second, but he made the right decision, actually, because Gomez had the clear shot after that. John Vasquez is in. Eric Nordstrom. Big O, you need to look into this red light therapy for your ankles. And hey, you're new to the show, Eric? Red light therapy? How many of you are laughing right now with me with Eric? Eric's a newbie. He doesn't know about one of our sponsors. Les Jams, John Vasquez, Bill's fake crowd noise. But I know more than doctors and scientists. I love it, brother. Thank you. Dolphin, the trade was Waddle to the Chiefs for Trent. Whatever it is, bro. Trent, OJ McDuffie, whatever it is. Maybe a trade for a third for Jerry Jeudy. So Tua gets his slot wide now. They can't be paying more receivers, bro. Ray says, I got local media and QAM has nothing to talk about now with the Dolphins, but to give any light to Mike Tannenbaum, I know. I mean, really, seriously. But I get why my boy, Barry had to do it. Barry did it because, he's probably going to call Mike for something and he needs a quote. So he can't rip him like I can. So it's just silly shit that there's no truth to it. There's no weight to it whatsoever. And so just want to make sure we shoot that shit down. Okay. I think someone overpays Wilkins and he leaves. Sounds like a Jets move. No, I don't think it will be the Jets. They've got some issues. I don't think they can do that. Plus, they're loaded. They don't need Christian Wilkins, actually. They're loaded. They have a bench and everything. They have players on the bench that need to play and aren't playing enough. The Jets have done a marvelous job of drafting, especially on defense, dude. Seriously. I mean, I got to give them credit there. I hate that crap, but I got to give them credit. All right, let's do it. Let's get to some Dolphin conversation. Let's see what Mr. David Furones thinks about that silliness yesterday, and that one report about Christian Wilkins. We'll get to that with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
Right, there you go. All right. Hey, Mac, just so you can learn a little bit, they traded and gave it to him because he's a pass rusher. That's Chubb, bro. You trade for pass rushers and corners and quarterbacks and number one wide receivers. Those top 5 positions, Mac, so you'll learn, you do trade for that, my brother. Okay? You might want to learn a little football there, Mac. Okay? You do trade. For the 5 most important positions, you trade picks and you give up salaries. Outside of those top 5 positions, no, not so much. That's why the running back stuff last year was complete horseshit, Mac. But hey, thanks for playing. All right, let's get to it. Welton Rayom, call him 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, condo damage, personal injury, homeowner property damage. Save that number, 954-966-4646. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing well. I checked out some draft prospects training locally this week at Bomberitos in Aventura. So getting a head start on that, which, I mean, he always has a lot of guys. He had 25 guys going into, I think, was it just the combine or the draft overall? So, I mean, a lot of prospects. Just wrote a thing about Jarvis Brownlee, a local cornerback who got shot as a kid, and then it inspired him. So, yeah, and then next week is the combine. So keeping an eye on everything Miami Dolphins, as that's always a big week as far as news coming out. You hear from Mike McDaniel for the first time since the season ended. Hear from Chris Greer for the first time since that end of season press conference. So a lot about to go down now this next week.
So let me ask you, yesterday, media all over was entertaining the silliness of Mike Tannenbaum, who constantly throws out shit out there that makes no sense whatsoever. And so there's no shot that they would ever trade Waddle. So I'm not sure why anybody would bring it up. I get why Mike Tannenbaum would bring it up, because he doesn't really have a pulse, a good feel for any of this shit as it is. So I'm just wondering, what'd you think of all that crap?
Yeah, very interesting that this gets thrown out. So the thing is, I know there's been a little talk about, oh, well, it could work if the Dolphins were to try to break up Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle because they're so similar. If you have a separate receiver that complements the other better. But here's the thing. You need Tyreek Hill now because he is, he's the number 1 receiver. He led the league in receiving and flirted with 2,000 yards before he got hurt toward the end of the year. You need him now if you're in this win now mode and window that you're currently in. And then once Tyreek Hill moves on and he's older, and he's already, even last year, he had a target retirement date after 10 years. So then that's when you need Jalen Waddle to be the number 1 for the future after that. And while you can have both, you want both, especially for Tua Tagovailoa to maximize everything that he's able to do with. So
let's just get rid of Duper. You only need Clayton.
Right.
Is that what we're gonna do? So let's just get rid of Torrey Holt. You only need Isaac Bruce. Is that what we're talking about now? I mean, really, seriously,
so.
What kind of stupid shit is this, bro? That's the reason why your offense is so potent. You have 2 guys that scare the shit out of people, dude. And that's what Duper and Clayton used to do, scare the shit out of people on a consistent basis. That's what you want. If you only have 1, by the way, just to inform Mike Tannenbaum and any other local media member that wants to entertain this silliness, now all of a sudden you can roll the safety over to Tyreek. You can bracket him. Now you become a lot more easier to defend. But when you have Duper and Clayton, it's impossible to defend. When you have Waddle and Tyreek, it's impossible to defend. When you have Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, it's impossible to defend. Look at the San Francisco 49ers. You have Ayuk, you have Deebo Samuel, you have Kittle.
Kittle. I mean, McCaffrey out of the backfield.
And McCaffrey out of the backfield. So let's get rid of one of them. No, you don't get rid of weapons, dude. I mean, Dan Fouts dropped back, and it was John Jefferson, Charlie Joyner, and Lofton. So what are we going to do? Get rid of one of them? No, dude, you got 3 monsters. Oh, and I had Kellen Winslow, too, by the way. I tell you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, I mean, I've been watching this since I was a child. When you have 2 guys, that's just, you don't think of destroying that, dude. You build on that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
And it's a tandem that has created such a large percentage of the Dolphins' target share. So that's an incredibly huge void that is created if one of them. And of course, there's no one's trying to argue that you get rid of one and then, to replenish elsewhere or stock up draft picks, whatever you want to say, and then don't fill up on the back end of bringing in other receivers, but you already have a great tandem there together as it is. That's been growing in the same offense that Mike McDaniel will now have them for a third consecutive year. That Tua will have them for a third consecutive year. That duo in Jalen Waddle's case, even one more year with Tua back before Mike and Tyreek got there. So you just keep building on that. And then what you want is a third option in the passing game to go with them. That's why we talk about, like on this show, is whether you can get that tight end, whether it's a third receiver, because Tyreek Hill, even in Kansas City, he always had Travis Kelce there with him. So it wasn't a second receiver per se, but it was that second big time passing target option. So yeah, I mean, these things, they work in tandem. So just why break it up now?
No, that's why none of this makes any sense. Plus, by the way, you got to pay Waddle next year. So the Chiefs have all these cap issues. They're going to pick up a guy that they have, and then they're going to get rid of one of their corners. Like, okay, they have the best pair of young corners in the NFL. That's another thing you don't break up. You don't break up Sam Madison and Pat Surtain. You build around Pat and Sam. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what, by the way, besides Mahomes and Chris Jones, the other reason why you won the Super Bowl, it's those two corners. Those two corners are nasty, bro. Nasty.
Yeah.
You know
so I don't think it makes sense on either end.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
For either team.
And for anybody locally here to be entertaining this silliness is just ridiculous. Now, let's get to the one that makes a little sense.
Here's a duo that you do want to break up. The Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer one.
Yes, I do, actually. I do want to break it up because I don't think it's worth the money that they're going to pay him. And I trust Dan Graziano. Okay, unlike Mike Tannenbaum, I do trust Dan Graziano. So I'm going to respect what he reported, but I'm going to hold reservation on it and say I need to see it to believe it, because there's no way they tag him and then they're able to have the flexibility they need the entire offseason to do the things that they need to do. So to me, that's where I disagree with the report. I'm not saying it's wrong, only because it's Dan Graziano and I have respect for him. If it was maybe, there might be a couple other guys on that network that I might challenge and say, nah, that's horse shit. But that guy, I give him props because he's good. I fiscally just don't think it works. To be quite honest, I don't think you will have the flexibility you need to go find what you need in free agency, and then to re-sign everything that you need to re-sign at the same time if you tag Wilkins. So you tell me, what do you think about that report?
And here's the other thing that he did mention was that he started off, the question was about using the franchise tag, but then he noted as he went on that it probably makes more sense if you are going to, if you do want to keep him and tag him, that it makes most sense to sign him to the long-term extension where the front end of the contract, it ends up being better for you financially under the cap room, and that so that then you can actually build off of that, give yourself more leeway than the $20 million that it requires to tag, and that's on this upcoming season.
Yeah, basically his report was either way, either thing happens, right? That's the way I understand.
They don't plan that the Dolphins don't plan on letting him leave Miami. And from the other perspective to what you have presented is that this is a foundational piece to this rebuild from the very start of it, 2019, when there was that tank year where then Brian Flores ended up getting them to the 5 wins. That was their first draft pick, first round draft pick of that whole run. And then 2020, the big draft class, another one in 21, then the shift to now you have your core. So then you start adding the veteran pieces, making trades like for Tyreek Hill, for Jalen Ramsey, Teron Armstead in free agency, building with the pieces you already had in place before that, like Xavier Howard and so on. So it would just be contrary to what you've built to then let the foundational piece of that first round pick from this era just go by the wayside. And he's a guy that's been reliable for you. He's barely ever missed a game. He added the interior pass rush this season. Always been a great run defender. Now, of course, you've always mentioned that he did a little bit more of it when it was against the bad teams instead of when the Dolphins needed him most, and that's a fair point as well. So things to weigh out. But then if you plan on bringing him back, then why not just do it on the long-term extension? Now, it will cost you a lot now because he did get those sack numbers. So now whatever number he was expecting before, he's only expecting a bigger number now this time around when they go back to the negotiating table. So it's going to cost you a lot. But if you backload it, it's team friendly on the front end. That helps you for the time being, which is this win now window that you've created anyway. And then you kick the can down the road for all these headaches that are going to come anyway and just come storming down on the organization with the cap apocalypse that will ensue in all likelihood. Then if you just stack all of them for the future days, and then you end up having to do what the Rams did, like, letting Jalen Ramsey go, making decisions that way, then that's what you have to do for the future. But it could help.
Hey, listen, if you win the title, I don't care what happens after.
Exactly. The Rams did that too. The Rams did that in 21.
That's right. Yeah. And I don't have a problem with what the Rams did, dude. As long as you win the title, and then you have to deal with, cleaning out and all that crap, and you got to deal with a couple of years of, kind of like what they had to do when they took over and got rid of Ndamukong Suh and Tannehill and all those deadbeat contracts that they had to. I think when they got rid of Suh, the 2 dead years after that were 13 and 19 million of dead space with Suh. So those are the things, but they didn't win a title, and that's the difference. Whereas with the Rams, brother, you can happily go backwards as long as you win the title. That's the one thing we wanted. So.
And the Dolphins, to this point, have only gotten to the wild card round, have not even won a playoff game yet. Right. I know a lot of circumstances that led to it, especially this past season. And then even the Rams, 2 years later, they're right back in the playoffs. NFC a little bit easier to get in, but they were right back in it, and a fairly competitive team.
Yeah. So when it's all said and done now, you hear what Graziano says. What do you think happens?
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of keeping him around.
But which one happens? Do they? Because I don't think they can tag him. I don't think. Right. I think it cripples their entire offseason if they tag him. Because I know you're going to free up money with X, but that won't come till June. I know you're going to give to a contract. That'll free up money right away. You're not bringing back probably Jerome Baker, Emmanuel Ogbah, Cedric Wilson. So there's salaries that you're going to be able to open up space. So I understand that, but I just think that because you're going to want to make some moves and you're going to need to re-sign some of your own people, very importantly, I just don't see a tag.
Yeah, that's why.
I just have and if you weren't willing to pay him last year, why would you be willing to pay him this year? I don't understand that one.
Yeah, well, I think there's a difference between willing. I think the Dolphins were willing, just not at the price that Wilkins and his representation were looking for. So I believe Chris Greer even said at his end of season news conference that when they were in those talks, that the two sides agreed it was a fair offer, but that his representation was looking for even more than that. I think they were anticipating that he was going to show the interior pass rush, which he had not presented yet, like the other big-time defensive tackles that had gotten their money to that point. So now he did end up at least putting that on paper on the record. He got the 9 sacks in a season, which whichever teams they came against, and that is still an impressive number, and a guy who has been reliable for you in the run game and just his availability over time as well. So I do see it. I agree with you on the franchise tag, because that's very costly. A team that's already $52 million over the cap, that's another 20. Now you're into the 70s of what you have to account for,
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, the restructures and all that, it gets you a big chunk of that, but still not that far. So I think in the end, with an extension, with a long-term deal, I should say, that's friendly at the beginning, that would be the ideal scenario. But then if they are indeed priced out, then they will be looking elsewhere. So it's got to be at the right price that both teams can or both sides can agree on. But
does he end up here? Does he end up here? What does your gut tell you? Because I still think he's gone.
Damn it, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
With the deal. Yeah.
Good. All right. Somebody's got to be wrong, so we got to have fun.
Yeah, that's good. We'll revisit this.
Yeah, somebody's got to be wrong with it, so we got to have fun with it.
It's a classic. Yeah, you take either side. The two sides each take a different side.
Exactly. All right. What are you working on this Sun Sentinel so Dolph fans can check you out?
Yeah. Like I said, I was just checking out some prospects. So I got a series of stories on different prospects that Dolphins could be looking at. I just mentioned Jarvis Brownlee. He plays cornerback, a local kid too. So Dolphins are moving on from X and probably need some competition, whether it's at slot or anywhere else. He could be a guy later on in the draft, and he has an inspirational story there as well, where he was in a car with the target of a shooting, and he ended up getting hit when he was just in third grade. That inspired him to get to where he's at right now. Saw a lot of different guys. Christian Mahogany, Boston College guard. So if the Dolphins need either a left guard or they are unable to sign Robert Hunt, he could be a guy. He's one of the higher rated guards in the draft. Working on reeling out all that and then getting up to previewing the combine, which is a big week next week.
All right, there you go. Have you gotten your Polygon yet?
No, because I'm still I still haven't downloaded my crypto.com. I need to get on that.
I'm messing with you, brother. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
You got it. Hey, Welton Rayom, folks, listen, storms are coming. Now, I know that the normal season is back in May and June, July, and all that, but we get hit by storms now, and it happens out of nowhere. And then water damage comes with that. And then you're going to call the insurance companies. And I want you to not do that. That's the worst thing you can do. You want to first call Welton Rayom. And with the new laws that have been put in place that Mr. DeSantis put us, the consumer, at a disadvantage, the most important thing is to have the right lawyers in place and the right people in your corner. So maybe you don't need it right now, but you may need it down the line. Save it. 954-966-4646. Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom will help you out. Condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, personal injury, you name it. Bankruptcy, call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. This
has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. We're gonna find out. We're going to find out where this whole Christian Wilkins thing lies. Okay, Dan Graziano is very credible. I have immense respect for Dan. Used to work down here, by the way. Was it the Sun Sentinel, I think? I want to say that Dan Graziano was in. A long time ago. Of course, I'm old, so I remember these kind of things. Good dude. Knows his stuff. Now, he made it sound that either one will get done. I want to see it. I got to see it to believe it. Because from the stuff that I know, he was not happy last year. And he made everybody know he wasn't happy last year. Okay? He still didn't get the sacks that you really want. Okay? He's not really the difference maker that some of you make him out to be. He's a good player, really good player, but not a great player. Here's if I'm going to give you franchise money like this, right? I'm going to ask you something right away. Okay? Let me ask you something. You're going to represent the fans right now. Okay? Grab the mic there, Sean Stanley. Okay?
I'm the fans.
You're the fans.
Okay.
Do you game plan for Jason Taylor?
Yes.
Do you game plan for Aaron Donald?
If you're smart, yes.
Do you game plan for Chris Jones?
If you're smart, yes.
Do you game plan for TJ Watt?
If you're smart, yes.
Do you game plan for Christian Wilkins? Be honest now. Be honest now. Be honest now.
No.
Am I game planning more for Jalen Ramsey?
I mean,
am I not staying away from Jalen Ramsey?
You're staying away from Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
You're double teaming Chubb. You're looking at Phillips. He's down the list. Way down the list. Probably, actually.
So how am I going to give a guy $25+ million a year when you don't game plan for him? Please explain that to me. I'm a big Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, and Reggie McKenzie fan. I think most of the time they do the right thing. I will disagree with a long-term contract with Christian Wilkins. I ask you again, everybody that's on the chat board now, do you game plan for Christian Wilkins? I ask you, please tell me, do you game plan? Is the offensive coordinator just terrified that they've got a game plan for him? What do you think? Or were you more game planning for Bradley Chubb in the second half of the season the way he was playing? I got nothing against Christian Wilkins. Love his attitude, love his energy, plays hard, really good player. Like I said, really good player. Like I'll tell you about Bam Adebayo. Very good player, dude. Very good player. Don't get me, don't even start with grade or franchise. Don't even start with me. Because you don't fear him. He's a role player. You only fear him if they can put 30 on your head. It's not Bam. Christian Wilkins isn't wrecking your offensive line. So, I mean, tell me. You tell me. Do you game plan for Christian Wilkins? Spock says no. True Fin fan says no. Anybody who says you game plan for Wilkins is full of shit. How are you going to give 20 plus to a guy whose sidekick outplayed him for 10 million? You don't game plan for Wilkins. Ray, you're game planning more for Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Quinnen Williams than Christian Wilkins. Thank you, Ray. Very intelligent text. Troy Ortiz, no. Will Wilkins set the market? That's another reason why I wouldn't touch that contract. Christo says, I agree, but every single year he gets better and better and better, but do you gamble on better? No. Those of you that are old enough, because if you're too young, you didn't get to see this guy because it was a really short window, okay? Because he didn't play well for a long time, and then he got booted out of here and went to Denver, and he had back issues. But for a couple of years, he had moments. So let me ask you something, okay? We used to have a guy named Daryl Gardner. When Daryl Gardner wanted to play, he wrecked your shit.
Yes.
Okay? You guys remember, those of you that are old enough? When Daryl Gardner wanted to play, okay, because he didn't want to play all the time. Let's be honest. I love Daryl to death. I got along great with him, but I'll be honest, he did not the motor wasn't there all the time. But when Daryl said, I'm wrecking this shit, he wrecked it. He wrecked it like very few people I've ever seen in my life. That's a guy you got a game plan against. I've never seen that from Christian Wilkins. Again, this is not an indictment on Christian Wilkins. This is just, I'm telling you what level I think he is. I'm not paying him that next level. But anybody, and you remember him because you're old enough, but when you remember Daryl Gardner and he wanted to just blow shit up, oh my God, for you young Doll fans, if there's some highlights on YouTube of Daryl Gardner, go check them out. Go check that out. Now, he doesn't have half the character of Wilkins. He doesn't have half the work. He doesn't have a tenth of the work ethic of Christian Wilkins. Christian has a lot of great, features to him, a lot of great characteristics. But I can't give him 25+ million a year. I cannot. And that's where I completely disagree with Dan Graziano and his take. Totally disagree with him on this one. I certainly don't think you can tag him because that would cripple their offseason. That would not be manageable. And I don't think you're going to give him the money that he wants, to be quite honest. And that's the issue there with the whole Christian Wilkins situation. So, Orlando, I will say this about Wilkins. Very good player, but he's not great. Sorry, he's not, man. He's the best we've got. That's true. That is very true. Very, very true. Very good, Mr. Brunetti. Mr. Brunetti is in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, great support for our show. Will Miami overpay like they did 4 years ago with Agba and Bake? Agba wasn't overpaid. Agba got injured, but he wasn't overpaid. He was producing, dude. He got back-to-back years of 9 sacks. And he was productive for the little amount of time he played last year. It wasn't his fault. He just didn't fit the system.
I was going to say, he technically didn't fit the system, but when he played, he somehow made it work.
Yeah, he got like 5 sacks in like very limited play. It's
somebody that the system didn't fit. He played pretty well in it.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. That's just complaining to complain. He was a good pickup for them, man. But he didn't fit this scheme. He was more for the 4-3 scheme that they were running before. That's why. So, there's 3 Dolphin defenders you game plan for. Before Wilkins. Okay, yeah. Matthew Lean Wilkins is a great leader and captain, but Sealer has very similar production for less money. It's going to be less than half because he's going to want around 25. Gardner had back issues. Yes, he did. He was a monster, man. Monster. What a shame. If he had the attitude that he needed, he could have been great. But he did so many weights and the bodybuilding stuff he was into and all that and destroyed his back. Let's see. Daryl Gardner was a lazy player, underachieving all-world talent. When he wanted to, he was unstoppable. That's the freakish part about it. That's why they hung in there with him, because there were moments that you were like, oh crap. Like you rarely ever saw stuff like that. You just don't see people just bust through a line and just cast guys aside like they're nothing, dude. Like nothing. Like they didn't mean these are 300-pound men that he was just pushing aside like they were toys. It was intoxicating, because the few moments you saw of Daryl Gardner, you were like, wow, did you see that? I you know what? I just got some chills. Because there are those moments that those players that just can do things that you rarely ever see. And that dude, that Klingon, could do it. Because he was a Klingon, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that. When he would take off his helmet or whatever, he had all those wrinkles like Klingons. Telling you, he was a Klingon. So I'm there. Let's see. I want to reset the entire thing and draft a young QB, Knicks or McCarthy. Oh, that's just stupid shit. I like Wilkins. Hope they can keep him, but wouldn't surprise me if they can't make it work. Yeah. I'm game planning for AVG before Wilkins. God, that's kind of scary, but it's true. Let's see what else. Man, those wrinkles were weird. Did that? I don't know. But he had him here. He had him on the top. I'm telling you, he was a Klingon.
You're that damn big. I don't know what you expect.
Yeah, but he wasn't fat.
Huge, man.
No, but he was like cut, bro.
Yes. No, I'm not.
Like he made Jason Taylor look really small.
No, I know.
He was
I remember
like
Daryl Gardner. I remember all that stuff. But
end.
There's only so many places for skin on your body when you're that big. It's got it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it.
He was, man, that body was tight, bro. Like I had never seen a defensive tackle with no fat. 0 fat. He was oversized defensive end playing defensive tackle because he was just built and thicker than a defense because he was playing tackle. So he was bigger than a defensive end. I'm telling you, man, that's the kind of stuff that when you see that, you're like, wow, it's impressive stuff. And to this day, there are very few Dolphin fans that have ever seen anybody play like him for those moments that he did. That's all. It's just stuff that will leave an impression on you forever. And if you're young, you should try to find some YouTube videos. Somebody has had to have made some kind of Daryl Gardner highlight video or some shit on YouTube. There has to be some whacked out, crazy, passionate Dolphin fan that say, hey, you know what? Let's make a highlight reel of Daryl Gardner because it'd be some impressive plays that you can put together on that. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Inter Miami defeated Real Salt Lake yesterday 2-0. So they start the season 1-0, pick up the 3 points. Calendar had 2 saves. Robert Taylor had the goal in the 39th minute. Diego Gomez in the 83rd. Sunday, man, this is pretty cool. Sunday night, they're at the Galaxy, 8:30. That primetime game on a Sunday night. The only thing I don't like is why are you getting one of your marquee teams and having them play twice in 5 days to open up the damn season? That's the part that I don't really like.
Well, I think what they tried to do was have an opening night because they were the only game that played because they play Saturday. Real Salt Lake plays again Saturday.
I know, but
so they just wanted to have an opening game on the Wednesday. But
they're not the marquee team of the
they're
league.
Not, but you know what?
We are.
Yeah, but hey,
take care of us, bro.
You don't take care. What are you talking about? They're Messi. They might end up putting Messi on other teams when Inter Miami's not playing to get their money's worth on Messi.
Loan?
Inter Miami loans Messi to NYCFC.
We're loaning Messi to NYCFC, and they're giving us 40% of the gate.
And parking.
Yeah, there you go. Duke, by the way, throttles 84-55. Not their year. When Omir's 3 of 14, you're in trouble, bro. They're against G-Tech on Saturday at 4:00. The Sharks got it done against Barry, 88-80. They improved to 21-2. Gabe Hernandez had 21 points. Saturday, they take on Florida Southern College at 4:00. Tonight, 7:00, Panthers are visiting Carolina. I'm sorry. And Carolina's favored by 1.5 goals. The over and under is 6. Tonight at 7, the Lady Canes are back in action. UM and Virginia, 7:00. At 7, also Conference USA action. FIU taking on Liberty. And at 7, SMU is visiting FAU, 7:00 on ESPN2. 3A Graphics, baby. You need some custom printing and embroidery. Please call Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. All right. You know, we love talking about an MVP of the night. And last night, well, I got to say, somebody showed up again to be the Cutter's Edge MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP?
For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com.
Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
I'm going to go to the Real Salt Lake game against Inter Miami last night, and I'm going to go with Drake Callender. You know, it's easy to pick Taylor, and he's been a terrific addition, and he has grown up so much on this team. And by the way, I want to thank Taylor because I won last night in my Hard Rock bet, getting Taylor as an anytime goal. So that was cool. He put me in the money. So we love that. But Drake Callender, only 2 saves last night. One of them was just, it seems like it's a highlight save at least once a game where he has to save his team. Okay. He did it so many times last year. And I know we're going to talk about Messi, and we're going to talk about Busquets, and we're going to talk about Alba, and we're going to talk about Suarez, and we're going to talk about Gomez and Kremoski, and we're going to talk about Campana. And there's so many good offensive players on this team that we're going to enjoy watching and doing their thing. But what I don't want you to ever forget that Drake Callender is the freaking man. You know, like William Quigley is the man when it comes to landscaping here in South Florida. Cutter's Edge Pro's been at it for a long time. They've got over 70 trucks. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 954-472-0622. Tree trimming, landscape design, outdoor lighting, artificial turf, which I swear by. I love the artificial turf for our doggies. So call the great folks at Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622. Like William Quigley, Drake Callender is our Cutter's Edge MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
Donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. You can even make a Bitcoin donation, which, you know, those are our favorite donations, Bitcoin donations. Joel Townley made a donation. Thank you, sir. I did not know that you can like send these things, these posts. I had no idea what the dragon says. A few bucks for a long shot. Thanks, O. Appreciate you, man. That's very nice of you. Very nice of you. Like it, man. Very cool. Thank you, Joel. That is absolutely awesome. Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. I see JT Walker's talking a little Jasmy. And Jasmy is right now stuck in there in that 1.5 penny. It's kind of, even right now. It's not up or down pretty much. So we're expecting more movement from Jasmy. Hanging in there. We're winning, baby. Big time. And Alethea is up 18.88%. It's at 5.5 cents. Trying to make its way to 6. That is awesome. Star Atlas, another long shot that I gave you guys, up almost, 21%. Still a great time to get in Star Atlas. I am not a financial advisor. It's at just barely over 0.5 penny. These are the ones you make money on. Okay? 0.5 penny, small market cap. If this blows up, it can flip many times over. Okay? It was at 24 cents, and it's at 0.5 penny. That's a 50x from here. I am not a financial advisor. So, but I think it's going to pass 24 cents when it's all said and done. So, just telling you. That's all I'm saying. Just saying it. That's it. Kryptonite up 9%, up to 7.5 pennies. Pendle up 9.8%, up to $2.78. So there you go, folks. All right, what else do we have going on? Let's see. Duke, man, beat up UM last night. NSU got their win. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Marlins signed shortstop Tim Anderson to a 1-year, $5 million contract. This is a guy that's been in a little 300. I don't know. Listen, the problem with the Marlins is that nothing they do is inspiring because they do the absolute minimal to try to compete. And when you're signing players at this point, you're reaching, you're trying to get a bargain and trying to see if somebody can resurrect their careers, kind of like Jorge Soler did. You know what I'm saying?
We're like Good Luck Chuck, right?
We are actually.
They come here, they resurrect the group. We can't afford them,
right?
And then they go and give more money. And then we get the decent season, which puts us what we got last year, just outside the playoffs,
right?
And then they go off and make the money, and then we get the next guy,
right?
Tim Anderson, come on down, buddy.
Tim Anderson, and I got to tell you, I don't love baseball as much as I used to, but I still love the idea of watching the Marlins a lot. And they take the fun out of it, man. They just take all the fun out of it. There's nothing for me to get excited about with this team. Yeah, they've got some young pieces, but it's the same organization that can't keep people around, that can't build a core, that can't spend. And clearly, the Jeter and Eng moves the last couple of years have proven that Sherman doesn't have the money, because those people probably wanted to say, okay, it's time to open up the wallets. We kind of set up the foundation. Now let's do it. And here we are again getting screwed as a fan base. So you just want a team to overachieve, and you're constantly talking about Tampa. You just want to do things the cheap way, like Tampa. Okay, last time I checked, what does Tampa win? Do they have any hardware? Are there any banners hanging there? Well, because they're the what's that called? The team that what is it called? Not money. Well, they're money ball without money. They're moneyless ball, but they're the team that overachieves. So let's reward and talk about a team that all they're known for is overachieving. That's it. That's all Tampa Bay is known for. Overachieving. You could call it winning if you want. I think it's a waste of time, because you do enough to build a foundation, but you don't do enough to spend money so you can buy a couple stars and put yourself over the top. Because that's exactly what you're missing every single time. You're just missing the firepower because you don't spend the money. So your little team overachieves, and that's really cute all the time. But you win nothing. You have nothing to show for it. Yes.
I think they're Manny Diaz when he was at the Miami Hurricanes, right? He always won the preseason.
Right.
Tampa Bay wins the regular season. It's just when they get into playoffs, they can't do anything.
Right.
Because that money ball goes out the window. Then it comes down to
you didn't spend any money on your team. So you don't have enough stars.
It doesn't work. So they can win the regular season all they want, but it means nothing.
Problem is that the Royals and the Marlins have done it, where they went cheap and they got lucky and lightning in a bottle, and everybody had a career year, and you didn't need a lot of veterans. You only needed Pudge and Urbina and who? Lowe.
Was Lowe on that team or no?
Yes, Mike Lowe was on that. Yeah, but Lowe was one of the young guys that came up. He was a little older than them.
Yeah. I mean, they got him over.
He was kind of part of that group. But I mean, literally, like legit vets. It was really Pudge and Urbina.
Yeah, but those teams, like you talked about, made smart decisions at the trade deadline, though, that helped them get.
That was Dombrowski that built that team.
Yeah, but they made that decision to help them at that time when they needed it. Like, wait, we need something else,
right? Because
they knew. We get to the playoffs, we're still short,
right?
And they added, and it kept them going. So,
right, but like the Royals and the Marlins did that, where they caught lightning in a bottle with a bunch of young guys, and they won it, and then both franchises didn't keep their teams around. They couldn't keep them around long term and keep improving them, and then they just broke them up, and then those players just left to other teams to help other teams, from the Royals and of course from the Marlins. You know, and that's my problem with them. It's just. I want to watch, I want to root, but it just, you don't bring it, dude. You just don't care enough. Yes, sir.
Spring ball started today?
Yeah.
Couldn't believe I saw it on the phone. I was like, wait, I'm watching the game over here. The Dodgers are killing them.
Yeah. We just don't
care.
care.
The Dodgers got, what, a $300 million payroll?
Right, yeah, exactly. We just don't care. Mr. Spock says Wilkins is a solid player, though. Don't think he's a 4-tech DE. If he leaves, watch him go back to the inside. Think his strength is the run game against quality tackles. He's ineffective in the pass game. There you go. Let's see. Bowens and Wilkins are similar players a little bit. Wilkins might be a little bit more active. So let me ask you, between Marino and Tua, how many competent, not good, just competent QBs have we had? Oh, okay. That's another conversation. Ocala Joe, Big O, you're a common sense man living in a nonsense world. Keep telling it like it is. Yeah, I know. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. Captain Saki is in. Thank you for the compliment, sir. Daryl Gardner was once arrested for headbutting his girlfriend. Can you imagine the damage those that cranial ridges could do? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Tommy Tremonti is in. I think they will keep Van Ginkel. I really do. I have a feeling if I could afford that artificial turf, my golden retriever puppy would tear it. No, he won't. Dude, Maiden doesn't tear it up. Nothing. Don't worry about it. They install it the right way. It doesn't move. It's not like a carpet that's moving around, bro. It stays. It doesn't move. It doesn't, nothing. And Maiden is a strong dog. Okay? Strong. And golden retrievers are, they're kind and beautiful animals. It's probably the best heart I've ever seen from a dog is a golden retriever. Golden retrievers don't have the edge that my girl has, Maiden. She's a terrier, boxer, German Shepherd mix. And brother, let me tell you something. She is a beast. And she doesn't do anything to that artificial turf at all. And there are some times where she digs her nails in. She's doing it less and less because the artificial turf, they end up stopping to, after they do their business, they realize it's not like the same as grass and they're not doing anything. So they do it less and less and less as time goes on. So it's actually pretty cool. But if my Maiden doesn't tear it up, there's no shot that your golden retriever ever will. Because Maiden is a rambunctious, electrifying animal. I mean, my girl dog is, she is a ball of fire. Okay? Like she is awesome with us, but she is mean as a skunk, dude, for strangers, and aggressive. So, yeah, no. You'll be fine. Trust me. Now, if you go somewhere where like a buddy of mine, he's an idiot. Okay? I'm not going to say your name, but I love you, brother. But I told you to your face, you're an idiot for not calling, Cutter's Edge. Because he went cheap and and he has grass growing through his thing within a couple months. Mine's been on for 2 years and nothing. Not one thing. Not one blade has ever gone through, and the grass is in impeccable shape. I got to do a new video soon, and I'll show you guys the latest after 2 years, and you'll see it. It's amazing. Call Cutter's Edge Pro, man. Do it right. Do it right. Do it the right way the first time, the last time. Don't be like my buddy who's a cheapo, and he's been notoriously cheap throughout his entire life. I've always made fun of him for being cheap. And he pays the price constantly for being cheap. So, trust me, Brian, you will have no issues because Cutter's Edge Pro is just at another level, man. Orlando is more of a financial advisor than actual financial advisors. I'm not going to agree with you on this, but, the track record says it all, dude. Everybody's making money. So, which crypto app is the best? There's no crypto app that's the best, my brother. You're only buying them to then move it to your cold storage wallet. You don't store your crypto on any crypto app. You buy and move. So open your account on crypto.com, on BitGet, on Binance, whatever it is. You can use Exodus is another good one. But get yourself a cold storage wallet, okay? Whether it's a Trezor Model T or a Tangent wallet or something like that. And eventually you move your stuff there. Okay. The exchanges are to buy, not to store. Okay. Sealer had a touchdown and a foot away from 2 touchdowns. Wilkins didn't get close to the end zone. I'm just saying. No Robin Hood. No Robin Hood. Do not do Robin Hood. That is terrible. Move anything and everything away from Robin Hood. In a world with no cap, IDE, because happy keeping. I don't know. What is it? I don't envision being happy to keeping Wilkins. Is that what he says? In the real world, You can't afford to play a good player, great player money. And as for trading, I'll trade Tyreek before I trade Waddle. Yeah, but neither one's going to get none of that's ever going to happen. And I'm not entertaining what you would get because that's the go call shows that all they do is talk Dolphins and they're super limited and then they can do all those stupid hypotheticals. We're not trading Waddle. We're not trading Tyreek, so you're not getting anything. They're trying to win a Super Bowl. They're trying to build a Super Bowl team. Okay. Let's see. Let's get to it. Dan Marino. He was asked about his, did you see this article? About his Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. Yeah. Yep. So Marino asked about his Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, the man that threw for over 61,000 yards and 420 touchdowns. Every time we say that, aren't you supposed to take a little toke there, right? It is 420 with Marino in touchdowns. Anyways, during a recent interview, he was asked to name his Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. He says, to me, Montana, Elway, Kelly, those guys, all those guys. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be considered one of the best ever. You got Tom Brady, you got a lot of guys. So there's a lot to pick from there. When asked if he'd consider himself, Marino had a humble response. Nah, I'm not going to do that. That's for someone else to say, but I feel like I could play with all those guys. And you know what I love about Marino? There's many things I love about Marino, my favorite Dolphin player of all time. He is humble personally out there in public like that. He's not ever going to talk himself up. But behind the scenes, he lacks zero confidence. And he should. Because he should never lack any confidence. He should feel the way he does because he can play with anybody. And sometimes we land in a situation. It happens to you. You're a good employee. You land in a terrible business. And you see it's run terrible and all that. And you do your job. And then you go find a job that's the same kind of job with another company that does the same thing, but it's run the right way. And now you feel good and you can excel and you can improve and you have confidence around you and you can get better and you can get promotions and you can make more money. But in a place that's incompetent and maybe it's run with, friends or family members or anything like that, that there's some bias and you can't get ahead or you don't have the support. I've worked at radio stations with Sean that we didn't have anything to work with to try to do our jobs. You know what I mean? And so it's hard to be good at what you do when you don't have support. And Dan Marino could have won many titles. You just never gave him what he needed in order to win those titles. He never had a defense. He never had a running game. And that's why I laugh with the whole Tua thing with some of you morons. He needs no, everybody needs a team. Okay? Because if you don't have Chris Jones, then Mahomes is not winning titles. That's kind of the way it goes. If you don't have, what's it called? McDuffie and what's the other guy? Bird or whatever, right? Huh? Snead, yeah. Bird, Snead, whatever. All those, you're not winning. When he didn't have an offensive line, he got his ass kicked in the Super Bowl. Everybody needs a better team in order to get it done, and so to me, this is where I feel bad for Marino at times because for some people, he doesn't get the respect that he deserves. And that's because he was in a situation that didn't allow him to excel to the point that he easily could have. Because he easily could have won a title. But you're not winning it if you don't have the right people around you. And Shula, unfortunately, failed in building a team around it. But I'm not surprised that he mentions guys like Montana, Kelly. I mean, those guys, Elway, it's as good as it gets, man. It's good. And Elway had the same problem. He would get his ass kicked in the Super Bowl. Constantly. And that's because you weren't going to win with Sammy Winder. You know? Now, when you ended up getting Terrell Davis and you got that nasty defense, you went and won back-to-back titles, something that Marino never had. You know? And it's always good to remind people that it's not a Tua thing. It's a quarterback thing. And I'll give you an example. Justin Fields. Here's a young man that I personally haven't given up on him. I know he has accuracy issues. That's his legal knock right there, right? But moxie, toughness, intelligence, work ethic, it's all there. It's all their character. It's all there with Justin Fields. So you got to kind of work with him. Do I think that he had everything to work with in Chicago? No, I don't. So wherever he does go, I hope he lands somewhere where he's given an opportunity to see if he can succeed. And that's the quarterback position everywhere. And in our case here in Miami, I look at Mike McDaniel, and man, he is the major freaking problem. Those of you that look at Tua, you're not looking at it the right way. That's all. You're looking at a head coach that doesn't know how to run an offense, doesn't have any awareness of what's going on in a game on a consistent basis, constantly making mistakes. He lost his own defensive end because he kept him on the field because he didn't have to. 3 minutes left in a game that was meaningless, and he had several players out there. That's no awareness. He sends in plays late, not allowing his quarterback to ever adjust to anything, setting your quarterback for failure, constantly in love with throwing it to Tyreek Hill, setting his team up for failure because he doesn't spread the ball around enough. You know, there's a lot of things that he does that he doesn't help his quarterback out. A lot of things Shula did that didn't help his quarterback out. A lot of things the Bears did that did not help their quarterback out. You know? Yeah, you know what? You know what's a great example? Even though he's not a franchise player, Ryan Tannehill. See, you brought him down, you drafted him, right? And you tried to make him a passer. Where Tennessee got him and said, no, we're going to run the ball a lot, and then he will throw off the run. And so he didn't have to go throwing 300 yards all the time. In fact, there were plenty of games where he was throwing 150 yards and a touchdown or two, and they were winning. And why? Because Henry and the line and the defense were dominating. And that is great coaching on Vrabel's part, bad coaching on the Dolphins' part. He understood what he had, and then he deciphers it and uses it the best way it can possibly be used. We didn't do that because we didn't have that kind of running game or defense, by the way. Well, no, actually, at times there was a decent defense. See what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson. If you get him and you start making him a passer, you're an idiot. He needs to be a runner that then passes. Josh Allen. Ken Dorsey was screwing it up. He thought he could make Josh Allen a guy that can throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. No, that's not him. He's got to run. So it's either you have to understand what kind of player you have so you can play him the right way. And then you also have to then complement the player in order for that player to succeed. And it doesn't matter if you're Marino, if you're Justin Fields, if you're Tua Tagovailoa, or you're even Ryan Tannehill. You must understand what you have and then how to use it. And so far, Mike McDaniel doesn't fully understand how to use it. So interesting to hear Marino talk about his Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks and how the ones that succeed, there's a reason why they succeed. It's not only because they're great, it's because they also had the help that they needed. Something Marino did not, unfortunately. Happy Thursday, says Rosendo. Greet your problems and decisions with peace and calm. Use your inner wisdom to evaluate and make smart decisions for yourself, like Jasmy. Let's see. Favorite Dolphin of mine, too, when it comes to pure ability to throw the ball, read defenses, get the ball out before you get to him with no running ability. It's 13 hands down to me. I agree. Chiefs signed former Bills punter. Yes, Matt Araiza. Yes. There is a difference between the greatest of all time and the most accomplished of all time. Marino's the greatest. Brady's the most accomplished, period. Araiza should have been an option here. I wonder why not. Should have been an option for a lot of teams because the kid can punt. It's not just a Miami thing. We want all kinds of good players. We'll take it, man. Did you see Marshawn Lynch, Sean? Huh? Well, Marshawn Lynch got out of his his plea agreement deal for his DUI in Vegas, right? And so it's funny. I laugh at this because I'll read the story for you with Marshawn. So Marshawn Lynch was originally found sleeping at the wheel of a car in August of 2022. He pled back then, by the way, the Seahawks running back did agree to pay a fine to the government, a plea that got him out of jail for a DUI. Lynch was originally found sleeping at the wheel of a car in August of 2022. The car was located near the Las Vegas Strip, and Lynch had blood alcohol content of more than double the legal limit. The full scale of the plea was in exchange for a $1,140 fine, DUI schooling, a victim impact panel, an alcohol evaluation, 200 hours of community service, and staying out of trouble. He got the charges knocked down to a peg. Instead of a DUI, Lynch instead received a reckless driving infraction. You remember that video that it's like this expensive Mustang or Corvette, and it was like on rims, I think, or something, and he was like stupidly drunk sitting there in the seat or something. Anyways, the reckless driving charge was not the only trouble Lynch faced. Driving in 2022, the former running back crashed into landscaping and a fence, resulting in a ticket given by the police. Lynch hung up his cleats for the final. Yeah, whatever. I don't care about any of that stuff. But it's interesting. I laugh because, okay, so when he's doing these courses and all that, what is he going to say? I'm only here so I don't get arrested again? Is that what he's going to say? Every time, oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm only here so I don't get arrested again? So whenever they ask him a question in those classes, is that going to be his answer? Marshawn Lynch. You would have gotten the DUI. You would have paid a lot of money. Okay? A lot of money. What's that? Oh, yeah, we all would have been locked up. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Did you see Matt Barnes lost his TV gig? So Matt Barnes was working with the Sacramento Kings, right? So a spokesperson for NBC Sports California said the network that broadcast the Kings told the Bee this week that the retired NBA swingman Barnes will no longer be appearing for them. The move ends a 2.5-season run for Barnes, who joined NBC Sports California back in 2021 and had appeared on Kings broadcast pre- and post-game coverage. So now NBC Sports California did not disclose the reasoning behind their decision. It comes several weeks after Barnes was accused of aggressively confronting a student broadcaster at a high school basketball game that Barnes' son was playing in. The viral video circulated online showing Barnes putting his hands on the student broadcaster's shoulder. They've got the clip there. You can watch it. You can go look for it. The 43-year-old NBA, whatever. And then they go on to talk about his experience and career, which I never give a shit about. They always do that for everything that they do. Matt Barnes has always had like a anger issue. Matt Barnes is the guy you want on your team just in case somebody gets out of line. Matt Barnes is the guy that's going to come off the bench and knock the crap out of you, right? Matt Barnes is the guy you want next to you in an alley. All right? I mean, I can't have enough respect to tell you how much I would want Matt Barnes with me right next to me in a fight, okay? Because he has crazy eyes. You know, there are some people that they can act tough, and you look at them and you're like, yeah, bro, you're not really that tough. And then there are some guys that you could just look at them And you know that Matt Barnes is the kind of guy that you're going to have to kill him in order to stop him. Kind of like a Mexican boxer. Okay? That's kind of the stereotype for you step into the ring with a Mexican boxer. If you can't knock him out with your fist, you're going to need a 2x4 because he's not going down. Okay? If you're going to get in the ring with a Mexican boxer, you better strap it on and you better be ready to fight because they're always ready to fight. Well, Matt Barnes is like a Mexican boxer. Okay? That's the kind of guy he is. But again, his anger issues have been a problem throughout his career, and now it cost him a broadcasting career. Sad. Because I kind of like his style, but you kind of know, that dude's not wired the right way. Be careful, that kind of stuff. Did you see that Justin Fields now is not following the Chicago Bears anymore? All right, can I just call bullshit? Listen, can we just be honest in this world at times? Even if it's uncomfortable. But at least you know where somebody's coming from. So he unfollowed the Bears and the NFL and all kinds of stuff. And so he was on a podcast. And they asked him, all right, so, why aren't you following the Bears anymore? And he says, well, why do people take social media so serious? I still mess with the Bears. I'm just trying to take a little break. I unfollowed the Bears and the NFL, bro. I'm not trying to have football on my timeline. So Fields compared it to messing with a girl, but not following them on social media. It's something that I don't want to spend my time on. I'm about to go on vacation, he said. I'm tired of hearing the talk, the trade talk. I just want it to be over. And you know what? Just stay to that, my brother. Just be honest. Hey, we all know what's going on. I'm not coming back to the Bears. So I unfollowed them. Okay? The Bears clearly are moving on from me. They're going to take the kid from USC at number 1. That's what he should have said. Because that's exactly what's going on. He's pissed that the Bears have forgotten him. And like I told you before, he shouldn't be pissed. It's kind of like what I tell you guys sometimes with some of these dips. That's not a negative. It's an opportunity. Well, this is a dip in Justin Fields' career. It's not a negative. It's an opportunity. Because he was just in a place for a few years that completely mismanaged his career and really didn't give him a true opportunity to succeed. Maybe, just maybe, he lands somewhere where they actually know how to treat a quarterback, and maybe, just maybe, he becomes successful. So this is an opportunity, not a negative for Justin Fields. And be honest, man. Justin, we know what's going on, dude. We know they're going to get rid of you. Good luck to you, bro. Good luck to you in your next stop. Let's do a little music and entertainment. We love doing a little music and entertainment. Let's go with some birthdays today. Decent list. I think I went over it. There were a couple of decent names there today celebrating birthdays on February 22nd. First of all, we start off with some dude named George Washington. He was born in 1732. We lost him in 1799. Drew Barrymore. Actress is 49 years old. Steve Irwin. We born on this date in 62. We lost him in 2006. Robert Kardashian, born in 44 on this date, lost him in 2003. Robert Waldlow, born in 1918, lost him in 1940. I want to say this is the tallest man in the world or something. Yeah. At 8'11", he became the tallest man in the world and had his name in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's casually known as the Giant of Illinois. 8'11", bro. He weighed 400 pounds. That must have been a miserable existence for him, man. 8'11", yeah, you can't. And in those days, he was born 1918 through 1940. He only lived 22 years, dude. Because health-wise, there's no way. Yeah, man. Weird. Yeah, you can't do anything at 8'11". Jesus. 8'11", dude. That's crazy. Julie Walters, movie actress, is 74. Nick Lauda, race car driver, born in 1949. We lost him in 2019. Rajon Rondo, 38 years old today. My favorite basketball player of all time, Julius Doc Irving, 74 years old today. Let's see. James Hong, movie actor, 95, still around with us. You know who he is once you see him. He's been in, right? Huh? I say James Hong, you may not know who he is, but like you've seen this guy like 4 billion movies, dude. Okay, James Hong, 95 years old. So those are birthdays today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go with music history. In 67 on this date, Abbey Road Studios in London was hopping. Pink Floyd was there working on their debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Meanwhile, the Beatles were recording the giant piano chord at the end of A Day in the Life on Sgt. Pepper. It's a hell of a day. In 89, for the first time ever, there was a category for heavy metal at the Grammy Awards, and Metallica performed at the award show and was nominated for the trophy. But much to everyone's surprise, I remember that the award went to Jethro Tull, causing a lot of audience members to boo. Like, Jethro Tull is not metal. It's prog rock more than anything else. Idiots. In 2005, Korn announced that guitarist and founding member Brian Head Welsh had left the band to focus on a life of Christianity. Head would go on to release a solo album, pen an autobiography, and then, in 2013, return to the band. In 2006, iTunes hit a milestone, selling its billionth download. The track, Coldplay's Speed of Sound, was purchased by a 16-year-old in Michigan, who, along with getting the song, also got a phone call from Steve Jobs, an iPod, and some other prizes. In 2014, iTunes passed the 35 billion song sold mark. Wow. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty amazing. Slayer, and if NorCal is watching, I know he's paying attention right now. Your buddy Kenny King, NorCal, Louder Than Life tour has been announced for 2024. All right? And they're going to be playing on two festivals. The Riot Festival that they'll be playing at. And they'll also be playing, where is it? And the Louisville Festival. So there you go, Riot and Louisville. They'll be playing those two to start. Okay? So they called the last time they said that it was their final tour, kind of said that it was premature, and apparently it was. So apparently Gwen Stefani throws up when she hears No Doubt songs, or almost throws up. The 54-year-old rich girl singer recently revealed that hearing songs from her past band, No Doubt, makes her want to vomit. I can't listen to a lot of the songs because they speak so clearly to me. And it's like, you know, you have regrets, you have mistakes you've made. And most of the songs are about that. She added, if I do Ex-Girlfriend, even when I say it, I almost throw up in my mouth just knowing exactly where I was at that moment to write that song and what I know now. It's just like, oh my God, it just brings you back. Stefani was part of the music group back in 86 to 2004, and then went on to pursue her solo career, which absolutely sucks, by the way. The voice coach also has used her love life for so many of No Doubt songs, such as the 95 tune Don't Speak. That was about her split with bandmate Tony Kanal. Ex-Girlfriend dropped in 2000 and was about her former husband, Gavin Rosdale. Stefani is now married to a country star in Blake Shelton. And here's my problem with Gwen Stefani and why she reminds me of Robert Plant, who all he does is constantly piss me off. So Stefani says there's a lot of times that you'll be on a tour and doing the repetitive songs, but it's not the songs. You're with these new people every night and they're receiving the songs. I can't believe I was chosen to have this life because it's such an incredible way to express yourself and know yourself. And so, no doubt, by the way, we'll be at Coachella in 2024, which I would love to go to Coachella just to go see No Doubt. And I got to tell you, I love No Doubt. I think that was an excellent band, and the music was awesome. And I think Gwen Stefani's solo career is garbage. I'm not into that girly music, the Taylor Swift stuff, the Beyonce, the Stefani, I don't know. There's a couple of others that are kind of like the same kind of crappy music that I just don't like that bubblegum pop music. Okay? No Doubt had passion, dude. No Doubt and this whole thing about stirring up memories and all, oh, please get over it, dude. Get over it. This is why it reminds me of Robert Plant, who's become a standoff asshole when it comes to Led Zeppelin and his early solo stuff. Because the stuff he did with the Shapeshifters is not that good. And the Alison Krauss stuff, okay, bluegrass. If you like bluegrass, yes, it's award-winning and all that, but you're Robert Plant, dude. We know you for Led Zeppelin, and we know you for a lot of your solo work, too. Those early albums were awesome, dude. The Big Log and Now in Zen, Manic Nirvana, Shaken Stirred, whatever. I think that the Blue Red album, I can see it in front of me, the one with Little by Little and everything. I mean, there's so many good songs, and he acts like he's above playing Led Zeppelin and his early solo stuff and all that. It drives me crazy. It's the best music you ever came up with, dude. You should embrace it. I know that where you're at now in the stage of your voice, maybe you can't hold some of those notes, and that's cool. It's understandable. But this whole attitude that he has, and she has it too, it's like the artist that doesn't want to play some of their hits, and people go to the concert and they walk away and they're pissed, and it's like, yo, dude, that's why they know you. Play the hits. Oh no, I want like Bon Jovi. He started just playing a lot of new stuff and very few old stuff. And it's like, yo, dude, your new shit sucks. Bon Jovi, just so you know, your last 4 or 5 albums, whatever, were terrible. Go play your first 4 or 5 albums, which those are exceptional. That's what they know you for. And so, Gwen, I get it. Maybe your little teenage girls and all that pop around for your little Gwen Stefani solo stuff. But the real music you made was with No Doubt. Embrace it. Appreciate it. Because a lot of us love it. Stevie Nicks, by the way, has announced a tour. So if you're interested, there is a Florida date. She's expanded her U.S. tour, her complete studio album and rarities tour, February 24th this month. In 2 days, Stevie Nicks will be at the Hard Rock Live. New Orleans on February 28th. You can go and check out the dates. It ends in Chicago on June 21st. Napa, May 24th, I'm sorry. Nashville, May 14th. Charlotte, May 4th. Albany, New York, June 12th. Hershey, Pennsylvania, June 15th. So those are some of the dates. You can look up the rest of them if you're interested in Stevie Nicks and her tour this year. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Isais, thank you, sir. Made a Bitcoin donation. Yeah, baby. Love me some Bitcoin donation, man. It's fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very nice of you. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Thank you, sir. Those are my favorite. That's a donation that keeps giving and giving and giving. Love it. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, you and Sean are my goats. Real talk. Thank you, sir. D Wolverines, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, big thanks for your info on Bitcoin. I jumped on late, but thanks to your insight, I'm on board now and making moves with all of your advice. Thank you. Well, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. And all of you out there, remember to take profits along the way because a lot of these things have hit and hit big. And you're up 40, 50, 60, 100%, 200%. Make sure you take profits along the way. It's very important to do that. Okay? Now that we hit and we're making money, make some money. Take it off. Okay? So why didn't Lynch just take the subway? Well, they don't have one in Vegas. They do have a monorail, but it doesn't take you. It's like it's like the stupid shit we did here in South Florida. I don't think most of you are not old enough. When we built the Metrofail, okay, yeah, I call it the Metrofail, not the Metro Rail. When we built the Metrofail, you know what Ronald Reagan was quoted as saying? They should have given everybody in Miami a Cadillac instead. It would have been cheaper. Now, in hindsight, they should have kept giving everybody the Cadillac by building it everywhere. And that way it takes you everywhere. So that's the problem here with that one. That unfortunately doesn't take you everywhere. So the one in Vegas, so you're going to need a car in Vegas. If you really want to get around in Vegas, if you only need to get through a couple of hotels, you could take that monorail. But if you really want to cruise around Vegas, you need a car. You have to have a car. You want to go to the Hoover Dam? You need a car. You want to go to go eat a steak at what's that place that's off the strip? Oh, God, it's kind of a anyway. You know, certain places, certain restaurants, you're going to have to go off the strip. Certain things, you're going to have to go off the strip. You know? So, yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. But, yeah, so that's probably why he was drunk off his ass in his car. Big Trouble in Little China is a great film with Hung in it. Yes, you are right. You're right. He's all over the place. He's in many movies. He's in Romeo Must Die. He's the father in Romeo Must Die. I was today years old when I learned that famous Canadian singer produced their own song for Ethiopian famine relief in the 80s. Oh, I think I remember the one you're talking about. That Glass Tiger was part of it and Bryan Adams and all that kind of stuff. I think I remember that. Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah. Oh, that's why I stopped going to Bon Jovi. Well, plus he can't sing anymore. His voice has been shot too. That's the other thing. One, you don't go to Bon Jovi concerts because he doesn't play the old songs enough. I warned Hawk when I was still at QAM. I remember he was going to the concert, and I think he said his wife loved it, and I warned him. I said, hey, Hawk, he doesn't play a lot of classics. And I think he complained after that he was like, man, he doesn't play a lot of the old stuff, and that's what you end up learning. Plus, he can't sing anymore. He just doesn't have the voice anymore. You know? I don't know anything about his personal life. I don't know if he was a druggie or an alkie or anything like that, or his voice just burned out, which it could happen to all of us, right? Any of us that do this kind of stuff, like a lot of people don't even last as long as I've had for 34 years, or the stuff my wife does every day as a teacher, which, you know, you're repeating the same shit 6, 7, 8 times a day for different classes. It's crazy. Anyway, Think Blue Dodger says, shout out Finn's Nation and Big O Army. Thank you, sir. Even walking the strip sucks. The hotels ain't that. No. Yeah. You can't. No, you need a car. Just bought some Jasmy coin, Big O. Okay, but remember, it's pumped up a lot now. Okay? You bought it after it's pumped 150%. All right. So, no, 200%. 200%. So now I still think it'll go up. You know what I mean? But obviously, you're not going to enjoy the same kind of gains if you went a little earlier. Again, not a financial advisor, but Star Atlas is still under a penny. Okay. And not for nothing, but I'm on a freaking roll. Not a financial advisor. Maybe I'm just lucky here, but we hit on Alethea twice. We got Injective Protocol back in 22 when nobody knew about Injective Protocol at $1.30 something and went up 2,000%. Jasmy, we hit on Jasmy now. It was under half a penny. It went all the way to a third of a penny, and now it's at a penny and a half. So it has timed several times already. We also hit on Alethea Liquid Intelligence token. That's also a small cap, long shot one that we so far. So we've hit on several of them. Star Atlas was under a penny yesterday at 45. It's funny because I sent a friend of mine yesterday. I said, yo, dude, I know you've taken my advice for others. And I sent it to him at 45. And right now it's at 53. So it went up already a nice little percentage from when I told him yesterday. And it's up 17%. And it's up at half a penny at 0.0053. Just barely over half a penny. These are the kinds that you make a lot of money. And by the way, Star Atlas was at 24 cents. That's a 50x from here. If it goes back to where it was at 24. The first time I bought Star Atlas was 9 cents. And then we had the crash, and then I loaded way under a penny at 0.0017. No, 13. 0.0013. So right now at the 55 mark, I've already 4 times those investments right there. So just so you'll know. Okay. Just want to throw out there just in case. Ethereum, by the way, is flirting with 3,000 again, 2,981. Polygon is up 6%. HBAR is up almost 14%, 1184, approaching 12 cents. We've been telling you about HBAR since it was at 4 cents. So right now we're 3-timing our money from the 4-cent mark to the 12-cent mark. Atlas, like I told you, is up 17.81 at 53 thousandth of a penny, I think is how it's said. Gala is up almost 7%, approaching 3 cents. Mana, the Central Land, up 3 cents, up to 49 cents. Alethea is up 16.3%, up to 5.5 cents. It's been flirting at the 5.5 cent area for all day since yesterday. Rendor, by the way, is up 11%. I'm not a render guy, but it's a damn good company. Axelar, I gave you guys Axelar a while back when it was at $1. It's at $1.49 now. Okay? $1.49. Again, not a financial advisor by any stretch. By the way, where is our boys Ando at that we gave you a while back? Let's see where Ando is at. How many of you? Any of you got into Ando finally? Let's see. Ando is up to 44 cents. I gave it to him at 24. 24 to 44. I'm just saying, man. You know, you guys, not a financial advisor. I'll repeat that over and over and over again. Do your own homework. I know I do mine. So there you go. Big O, did you ever listen to the first 2 Yes albums before Fragile? The Yes album, songs like Survival, Time, and A Word Worth. Yes, I have. I've listened to everything Yes. Everything Yes. And I love everything Yes. I'm a prog guy, bro. So from Yes to Dream Theater, you know, because Dream Theater for me is the best prog band on the planet right now, right? Anybody disagree with me on that one? Can you give me a better prog band than that one right now on the planet? Dream Theater. So I'm a big prog guy. Love Yes, love Emerson, Lake and Palmer, love all of that, dude. Huge prog guy. So I got no problem with that. Let's see. Are you sure you're not a financial advisor? I thought you were a loan shark. That works. Slot in Hialeah. Where can I get Star Atlas? Remember I always tell you guys, go to coinmarketcap.com, put in whatever coin and scroll halfway and you'll see the list of places you can buy it at. Okay? I got a lot of my Star Atlas on Exodus. What I do is I buy Solana and swap it for Star Atlas. That's what I do. Okay. So that's how I get my Star Atlas. So but again, go to coinmarketcap.com and you'll see a list of places that sell Star Atlas. You might be able to get it somewhere else. Okay. Check it out. CoinMarketCap will help you in any coin that you're looking for. You hit it there, and then when you get to that coin, then you scroll halfway through it, and there will be a list there of places, DeFi and crypto exchanges where they sell the coin. Right, all right, all right. All right, let's see. Where to research crypto without finding FUD. Did you do a segment of that yesterday when I explained it? It's there? It's in one of the crypto segments on the audio side? Okay, Ron, go to our audio, okay, our podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever it is you use. Yesterday, there's a crypto segment. Do you know which one it is? His organized ass will even tell me the title and everything. Anyway, look for that, and I explain a lot of things there. You can, what is it? Crypto researches. There you go. Pretty simple. Resources, crypto resources. Yesterday, he made a segment of it on the audio side, not video, audio. So go find it there, and I explain it there a bunch. I've done that several times.
And if you look through further back in the crypto, there's other ones where maybe some of the sites he didn't issue there, or some of the other stuff he put on other one. There's
a lot of crypto segments.
There's getting started in crypto. There's resources. There's different ones.
Right. So all that. And remember, we have 2 Crypto Bro shows up. And I'll be recording a new one tomorrow. And they're all on Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook. Orlando Alzagari Facebook. So they're not here on this platform yet. So we're only doing straight social media, and I'll do one tomorrow. I don't have a set time for it yet. I'm just popping in and doing it. So make sure you have the notification bell so you know when we're going on. Okay. Dream Theater equals awesome, says Brett. You know it. Rush, of course. But Rush is not around now, Eddie. Like right now, Dream Theater, I think, is the best prog band out there. You know what I mean? Rush, yeah, number 1 prog band of all time. They are the godfathers of prog. I would put Yes behind them, but definitely Rush would be number 1 with the prog stuff. But I mean, like right now, active, I don't think there's anybody better than Dream Theater. I don't know if you're a Dream Theater guy, by the way. You know, Petrucci he's fantastic, dude. You know, awesome. Dream Theater is the goat of prog rock, and cannot disagree there. It's hard right now. We don't have a lot of great, like there's very few active bands that are at the level of Dream Theater. Chad says, I got to see Dream Theater at Megadeth in 07 at Sound Device Amphitheater. Top 10 show of my life for sure. Well, that's a hell of a combination right there. So during the Wilkins explanation, one could sub out Wilkins for Tua, but yet you're a hater if you say Tua didn't perform against better teams. Ponderous, man, ponderous. Tim Bowens was a badass. Yeah, see, that's the problem, Ernest. That's actually not true. So that's where it doesn't really fly, because he performed not all the time, but there were some times that he did perform well. The Kansas City game was not his fault. You know what I mean? The first one was all Tyreek. He made the plays, but you conveniently forget that. Just like the year before, you're going to forget Buffalo, where he hits Tyreek and he drops a touchdown, and Trent Sherfield drops a touchdown, and Braylon Sanders stops to run. You know what I mean? Where the coach forgets to keep running to help your quarterback, where the coach forgets to get plays in. But that's all right, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I'm not here to convince you. So I don't really give a shit if you don't like the kid or not, or don't believe in him. Personally, like I've said, those of you that think it's Tua, I don't think you know what you're talking about. You know, you said two of the same thing during everything that was going on with Flo. You're the same guy because all of you were picking on Tua during Flo. And I clearly pointed out that it had nothing to do with Tua. And McDaniel made the environment better for him. Just like the injuries. You're the same guy, Ernest Blaine. Tua can't stay healthy. And I'm the guy that went against the grain. You know, it's ponderous, man. I told everybody he's not injury prone. He just holds on to the ball too long. And in the NFL, you cannot hold on to the ball too long because you will die in the NFL. And guess what? He didn't hold on to the ball, Mr. Blaine. And guess what? Just like the other Blaine, it disappeared. Isn't there a magician called Blaine? There you go. Right? So there you go, Blaine. The injuries disappeared. I wonder why. Because it's not what you think. Tua's not the issue. It's the people around him are incompetent. It's just that McDaniel is not as incompetent as Brian Flores. Well, Brian Flores was evil and incompetent because he hated Tua, and then he obviously did everything to bury the kid. But that's all right. David Blaine, right? There you go. So, you know, that's all right, dude. It's all good, man. You know, it's fine. I do this all the time. That the overzealous fanatic, which is what you are, Mr. Blaine, you're not really logical. That's the problem with fanatics. Fanatics don't have a lot of logic. They don't use common sense. They don't really look at the big picture. You know what I mean? It's like the idiot that tells me Bitcoin's a scam. All right, dumbass. You know, it's like, what are you going to do with people like that? You know, the most powerful, the smartest, and richest people in the world are gobbling it up like Pac-Man. So you think it's fake? Really? Okay. All right. It's just shit that you can't change. So that's all. It's all good, man. It all comes to light eventually, right? Either I'll be right or I'll be wrong. Same thing, right? That's all it is. Big O, I might just rival you on prog rock. I saw numerous times in the 70s. Yes, ELP, Genesis, Supertramp, Tull, Rush, and Dream Theater, among others. Well, I'll tell you something, my brother. You got me already on Supertramp because I saw Roger, but by himself at the Boca Black Box, right? That's where we saw him, Boca Black Box, right? And it's not the same as watching Supertramp. You know what I'm saying? Even though Roger is the heart and soul of everything of Supertramp, you really needed the whole band, and we didn't see the whole band. It was kind of a one-man show type of thing. He had a keyboard with some, music recorded in the background and all that. He sounded great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like seeing Supertramp like what you saw. And so I got to give you props, dude. And if you saw the original ELP, you have that on me too, my friend, because I did not. Now, wait a minute. Did you see Genesis Pure Prog? Are you talking about Genesis Peter Gabriel? That's badass. Now, I will be honest on this. I am not a fan of that Genesis. That's the prog that I'm not really that into. Yes's prog I'm into. Rush's prog I'm into. Dream Theater I'm into. ELP I'm into. Early Genesis with Peter Gabriel, not that good. I don't like it that much. And I'm probably in the minority, but give me Genesis Phil Collins on 100 times over. I thought it was really odd and weird, the prog rock that Genesis had in the early days. So you're way ahead of me, dude, if you saw those. Way ahead of me. What? Oh, okay. So he saw Peter Gabriel. Okay, so yeah. Oh, you're dude, you crush me. You crush me. Now, I have no interest in seeing Peter Gabriel Genesis. None whatsoever. I'll be honest. I have every interest in seeing Peter Gabriel solo. Not now, because I've seen his set lists, and he plays very few hits. You know what I mean? I almost, if I want to see Peter Gabriel, I want you to play practically the entire So album, because I mean that's just one of the greatest albums of the '80s. That was a masterpiece of masterpieces, the So album. So there you go. What else do we have? Oh, by the way, you, you can't do this, but for us Apple folks, did you guys check out Apple Sports? If you don't know about this, Apple has just taken out Apple just took out this new app, and it's pretty cool. It's got like a court on it. No, it's free, completely free. It's an Apple app, but because they're headed to sports, right? Like last night, I was watching Messi on Apple, and they have baseball. They have some other huh? You watch Messi what? Oh, well, yeah, okay, but that's your MLS ticket, right? Right, the season pass. So, but the platform itself, just like Amazon and Netflix, they're all getting sports. So what they did was they created an app called Apple Sports. Now it doesn't come updated automatically. You have to go download it from the App Store, and then you put in your favorite teams. And so it's really, really cool. So now I don't have to search. I just hit the app, boom. And like tonight, I have the FIU women's basketball team against Liberty, the FIU men's team against Liberty. I have the women's team against Virginia. I have the Panthers and the Hurricanes, and I have FAU and SMU. Right? Those are all the local games going on tonight. So I put all my favorites in there, which is all the local teams, of course, because I'm a hometown guy. And so every day. And so then yesterday, you have the score, from UM and the score from the soccer game. And then you can click into it, and then you'll get the whole breakdown, all the stats and everything. So it's actually really cool. So if you happen to be an Apple person like I am, Apple Sports, pretty cool. Set it up. And that way you just go directly to that. You just hit that app, and it updates all your local teams and your local scores. And for me, that's super cool. So there you go for you South Florida sport, or wherever you live. It doesn't matter. You can use it and trim it to however you want in your part of your country. Big O, Tua hasn't shown up in any December or January games. Yeah, neither has the Dolphins for 30 years, my brother. Again, Brandon, you add to Ernest and many others that lack knowledge and intelligence and common sense. Okay? You're blaming it on Tua when it's the entire team, and especially your head coach. The head coach is the most major fuck up that there is on this team. And I love the guy, and I want him to succeed, but it ain't going to stop me from saying he's a complete goofball running this team. So until you fix the game day coach, nobody will win. They're winning in spite of him. Just like with Flo, they won in spite of him because they have some talent. But it's up to the coach to make a difference in the games, and he's not a difference maker by any way, shape, or form. But you go ahead and keep blaming the quarterback. It's all good. It's all good. All right, I'm out of here with all that stupid talk. I'm blaming Tua. We thank David Furones. We thank, of course, Steve Calabro, making it nice and easy. The Brunetti family, John Brunetti Jr., we just saw him now a little while ago. Appreciate him and everybody out here that makes it nice and easy. We're always here in the second floor poker room. Remember, we've got your $100 no regret first bet going on, and it starts next month, March 1st. All right? You go downstairs and you play the slots, the loosest slots in the state of Florida. And the more you play, the more entries you get. And at the end of March, they are going to give away that electric Mustang that's out there. Okay? So we're going to play some video games, see if we can win it. The wife could use a new car. Can you use a new car? Right? You could, right? Maybe a little bit. So, could you use a new car? There you go. I mean, some of you may just buy a new car with your Jasmy winnings. I mean, what can I tell you? Seriously, thanks to everybody out there. Everybody has sent in a super chat. Everybody has sent in Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Tomorrow, we're at Acura Pembroke Pines. We'll be out there at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Again, it'll be like this, around 3:30 in the afternoon, a little delayed. Some of our road broadcasts are going to be a little later in the afternoon for the next couple of weeks as I go through my foot issue. We thank everyone. And I got to thank my incredible wife, because without her, this really doesn't happen. We'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel, and may Bitcoin blow up.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the